Popping up. Hello, 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 everybody. It's the Steve and TJ show. Thank you for hanging out with us tonight and watching. Josh should be popping in the mix any moment now. And look at it, 6:03. We actually are semi on schedule,
Right?
right? Are you guys happy? Are you proud of us? Like, let's get those emojis going. Like, um, yeah. So welcome, Steve. How was your week? What'd you do? What's new?
Man, what did I do? I'm trying, I feel like recently everything's just been sort of a blur. Oh, yeah, it was like the snowed out weekend. It was another weekend where we got a lot of snow, and so work was canceled Monday, and work has just been slow in general. So I've had a lot of days off, just been trying to work on music or just relax, hang out, play games, meet up with friends. Let's see. Friday night I did go to Chattanooga because,
The Nuge.
yeah, just on a whim. It was like 5 o'clock. I was already,
Alone?
yeah, I was,
You
well,
just like drove to the Nuge on a whim alone. Tell us the story.
yeah.
Did you put on like sad music and like get your life? Like, was this like a self reflection moment? Like,
No, no. I mean, I met people there.
okay, got it. Okay.
Yeah, no, I was just on the couch. Like, I was done. I had finished work. I was like ready to wind down and just make dinner and watch TV. And Tommy messaged me because Tommy lives there now, and his brother and sister-in-law were in town because their kids had like a cheer competition out there or something.
That
And
sounds very like middle America, like
yeah,
a
yeah,
cheerleading
and
competition. Fun.
yeah, and so I like his brother is cool. I hadn't seen him in a while, and they're like, well, the kids are gonna go to bed and stay at the hotel after whatever, and then we're gonna go out. And so I was like, fine. So I like packed up an overnight bag and drove there. It took like an hour and a half, hour and 45 minutes. Met them at the hotel, and then we just went out, and I drank too much somehow because I felt like death on Saturday. Like, we went to brunch, and I'm just sitting there like, am I gonna die or do I feel
Dude,
fine?
that's
Like,
just like how hangovers feel now.
yeah, it's like 1 minute I feel, I'm like, oh, I'm good now. I'm ready to eat this burrito and power through, and then the next second I'm dead. But yeah, we went out late, and there's not a whole lot of, like, it's not like Nashville where every corner is a bar and there's a million people. It's pretty low key, but there was this small we went to this small little club, and his brother like paid to get us in the VIP section and paid for bottle service. And
What?
so that, yeah, his brother's pretty loaded. So
Bottle service in the Nuge.
yeah, and so that's
That's
probably when I went over, because I didn't really remember getting home and that kind of stuff. But
what does his
um
brother do for a living?
he's high up at Verizon.
Oh,
So
okay.
yeah, I know he like runs like certain regions, so he travels a lot and has to
Yeah,
go.
that's
And
awesome. Good for him. I always am curious when people are like, this person has a lot of money. I'm like, what do they do for a living? I want to know.
his brother's definitely like one of those like stories of from nothing to something, because they grew up like not like impoverished, but it's, his mom was a single mom for most of his life because his dad died real young, and they didn't like, his mom was an accountant. They didn't have a whole lot of money, and so his brother, just from a very early age, like in high school, just started working. And his brother's kind of focus his whole life was like, I want to make money. I want to, have a comfortable living. And so he
Yeah.
just like grinded and grinded and got different jobs, met people, and like just worked his way up to where he is now. And his his wife now, she's also, I think she also works for Verizon or another company, but she's also a very high up
Nice.
person. So
Well,
yeah, together they do pretty well. So it's always like fun. It's never expected. I'm always just like, I do fine. Like, I can buy my
I
drinks,
can
and
buy
and
my own drinks.
he's like, no, he's like, everything on my tab, and I'm like, all right, whatever.
That's awesome.
I'll
You
take it,
gotta have
Bob's.
people in your life like that. You know what I mean? Like the rich auntie, like you know the
Yeah, like Aunt Carol that always buys us a lot of
yeah,
food
yeah,
and
yeah.
everything.
You gotta have that you know that's probably like my goal in life too. Like just be that mysterious rich auntie that's just like traveling the world, and then every once in a while just like you know throws you all spoils you, throws you all the money. But I don't know, if to be an auntie I need one of my sisters to have kids, so I
Yeah.
yeah, I'm like I don't know if that's
I
gonna
don't know if
happen.
yeah, Amanda doesn't look like she
Nah,
wants
she doesn't
that.
want kids. I don't think I want kids. Who knows? But I want to give a shout out to Sarah. We got Doolin, Death Fears None, Josh. We got that shady dude watching on YouTube. Hello, 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 everybody. Pop us a line. Where are you? How is your week? Where are you watching from? Thank you for joining us. Special shout out to anybody who is a member of the Nearly Dead's Patreon. We love you guys and we appreciate you guys. You guys help support the live streams. You help support the music. We're working on new shit. And we're just catching up. If you haven't joined us on one of our live streams before, this is kind of the drill. Like we kind of saunter in, we catch up. And then tonight we don't really have a theme, and I thought we would get weird and have some fun, and I really want you guys to ask us anything and like ask really weird obscure questions. Like, you know, what's your favorite Starburst?
This is like gonna be like a loaded.
I know. Don't get
This
like
could go
sexually
bad.
weird with it. Like get like PG-13.
Weird, yeah.
And we
Salad fingers weird.
yeah, yeah, but like ask us because I can never forget the one time that like we went off on this like mustard tangent, and it turned me on to like one of our fans sending us some really like potent amazing mustard, and then like I went online like during the stream and like bought this like weird um like hot sauce mustard. Anyway, so I just like I'm going in that direction, like obscure shit, you know, like let's just be fun and weird because you know why the fuck not.
Right.
So Sarah's in England in bed. We love you so much, Sarah. We are glad that you're here and listening with us on the
She sent
Twitch.
you the mustard, right? Or was it not?
That was not Sarah, that was Matt.
Oh. Oh, okay. Yeah, that's right.
And the Jaffa cakes and all the yum yums that I
Um,
was supposed to share, but I didn't.
Thanks for the Billy Talent shout out. I probably wear this shirt more than any shirt. I'm gonna be so sad when it finally like falls apart and I can't wear it anymore. And TJ, try honesty. That's the one you did the cover for, right?
No, it was sympathy.
Oh, okay.
But you know, and I never finished it. I was like, oh, I'm gonna do this because I started learning it and I knew it on piano, and then it like I never like laid it down.
You gotta lay it down and make it a Patreon prize.
Yes, I know. I know. I will. I promise. I will get right on that if I can remember the chords. I was like sitting down at the piano and like writing, and I was like, da, na, na, da, na, 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 da, na. I was like, oh, this sounds really familiar. Like, da, 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 na, 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 like that lower line, and then the
Right.
vocal goes up, and I'm like, oh. And it was actually pretty it all just like flew together. It like simple to learn. Such a cool song. Like I love learning other people's songs because it like helps me in my writing. And just breaking down like where they place things, where they change the chords, and like what is it about a song that I like that makes it interesting, and just kind of like you know find that inspiration, especially like lyrically. One little word can like inspire a whole new song for me.
Right.
So yeah, I've been working. So this week for me, definitely been working on a couple of the new songs, working on like Javi song and ideas. So, and I want to get these demos out to you guys. And Javi actually sent me a song to sing on. I haven't done that yet, but I am looking forward to tomorrow night. I've got like a gaming date with one of our patrons. So, and yeah, there was a whole day that I spent just playing Animal Crossing. It was like my self-care day. Like don't like we definitely have days when we're just in bed all day too. So that was definitely the day. I have a confession, and it's not
Mm-hmm.
it's not that bad. I have seen gamers and YouTubers out there that have racked up 1,500 hours on Animal Crossing, okay? So my like 600 or 700 hours is like nothing, right? Was a little
Right.
embarrassed about it, but now I'm out of the closet. And my husband got a second Switch, and I popped my Animal Crossing out of my Switch and popped it into his and started a new island. So I have now a new island that I can build from scratch with my theme. I called it Moonrise, and I'm going to have it be all foresty because they have all these, like, I don't know. Like, when I started the game, I did not know that it was like a thing to plan out your island. I just put shit everywhere, where every which way. I just grabbed every villager the first Nook Mile ticket I spent. So I was like, what was I thinking? I got like the ugliest villagers. It took me forever to find cute ones, you know? And
Wow,
now,
that's rude.
but
Those villagers are sitting there feeling sad because TJ thinks they're ugly.
dude, it's like a thing in the community. You don't even know. There's like rankings, there's like whole websites that people are like, nope, won't go for that one, won't go for that one. And it's also they have different personalities. So
Mm-hmm.
if you want the game to be like a little bit more interesting, you're going to pick characters like, or they're like, you like the way their house looks, like it's aesthetically goes with your island. I don't know. It's pretty embarrassing, but yes, I did start another island on Animal Crossing, and I don't know. I have so much like money built up on my other game, but you have to have 2 copies of the game, I think, to island hop. So I can't give myself my own items on my new island unless I have a second actual physical copy of the game, I think. So that's
Oh, okay.
probably going to happen soon, as embarrassing as it is. Even though I'm like trying to learn Apex Legend and we got Pokemon that just came out, I'm just like, nope, I only care about Animal Crossing still. I thought I would grow out of it, but man, I have not.
Yeah, and you still haven't taken my advice. Taken. That's not a word.
There's the one,
Where
there's that game that you recommended, right?
yeah, the Spirit Fair is such a TJ game.
Spirit Fair?
Fairer, like
Okay.
they're like a ferry driver or whatever, but it's like side scrolling and the art is very like anime, and you're this girl and you're helping lead these lost souls into the afterlife.
Wait, it's not
But you
Kira Bridge of Spirits?
no.
Okay. Because that looks
And
really cute too. And I did check that one out. Um, Kina Bridge of Spirits, and like we were at the like thing, and I was like, $60 new game. I was like, or go home into my warm bath of Animal Crossing that loves me. Like
right.
I've heard such good things about Kina though, and
Yeah, it's a good game. That one's on
I
PlayStation.
I
But
just
see, Spirit Fairy you can play on your Switch in bed when you're cozy. And
look,
it has the management because you build your ship up. You got to get these things and you harvest crops and you go
oh,
on these
that's
missions.
cool.
But you've got this little kitty that follows you around and it plays with yarn balls
Oh,
and you can pet it.
that's
And
in Spirit Fairer.
yeah, but it's super relaxing. The music is fantastic. Whoever did the music for it, it's just super soothing. Like back when I needed something soothing, I like zoned out and just put a lot of hours into that game.
Oh yeah, this looks
And
cute.
it's pretty funny too, the dialogue.
Cute.
Uh,
I love
But it's
it.
funny. It seems like that's a theme now with like spirits and afterlife in games because you talk about Kenna, Bridge of Spirits, Death Fears None mentioned that. Um, but speaking of that, over this week, the game I've been like spending a lot of time on, and my Tommy's mad at me right now because I bought this game. It's called Death's Door, and it's a independent game. It's made by 2 guys, and I heard great things last year. It got a lot of people were nominating it in all these game awards, and I was like, I want to play it. You play as this little crow that goes around and like fights enemies, but has to. You're basically a reaper of souls, and you take these souls to the afterlife, and it's top down, and it plays kind of like Zelda.
Wait, is it
Um,
called Death's Door?
yeah,
Oh, I thought you
Death's
said
Door.
I thought you said Death Store.
Oh no,
And I'm like
Death's
Googling
Door.
death's door and it's like, what? All right, death's door. Like knocking
Yeah,
on death's door. Got it.
yeah,
Why
yeah.
am I
And
so
so I
stupid?
bought it a
Death
week ago.
store? Death store? You're like, no, you're like, yes, death store. Death's
Yeah,
door. Death
Death's Door.
store. And it makes it sound even more like you're saying death store. I can't.
Yeah. So I bought it a week ago and I was playing it and I'm like, this game is fantastic. I love Zelda games. It's just like Zelda. And I was told Tommy and Ricky, who are my friends, who also like a
Here's
lot of
the,
the same
this
games.
looks cute. Cover, this is like the artwork.
Yeah. And I was like, Tommy, you need to play this game. So he bought it for $15. And a week later, like not no joke, Wednesday of this week, they announced that it's coming out on Game Pass. And we all have Game Pass, which is like Netflix for games. And so
Mm.
it could have been free and we could have not spent any money, but we already bought it. And Tommy was like, I hate you for making me buy it. Um, but it's fun. Like I'm super addicted to it. I've just been going around. I'm like, I want to find all the secrets and upgrade all my
Yeah.
weapons. And I
Fun.
like being this little crow.
You get to pick your animal?
No, you're just the crow.
Oh, work for
Because
a crow. Okay. Oh, oh, okay, I get it. Like crows are like one of those symbols of death and like yeah, I get it.
yeah,
That's cool.
yeah.
Somebody asked, have you seen the new trailers for the game Horizon Forbidden West?
I saw what they showed at the game events last year.
Mm.
So like I've seen some recent stuff. I'm familiar with the game. I played the first one. I wasn't like it was fun, but I felt like it was very similar to Ubisoft open world games. It kind of felt like Assassin's Creed or
Mm-hmm.
and which is nothing wrong with that. Those are good games. It just felt very familiar. So I didn't really I played it for a few hours and I was like, I don't know if I need to finish this.
Mm. I have not seen the trailers. It looks pretty interesting though. I like games like that, you know. I love my Skyrim. Um
Yeah, and you get to be this badass girl named Aloy.
yeah, that's cool. I love I love when they have like the female leads in the games. Cool. Hello, Domenico. Thank you for joining us. Appreciate it. And Mike as well, and Alexander. Thank you guys for hanging out on Facebook and watching with us. So let's go ahead and open it up for questions. I'm gonna, you know what? I said I was gonna do this. I'm gonna like Google kind of some random questions. We're doing like an ask us anything, so feel free to just like go ask us anything and like, you know, be weird with it, but not like not like X-rated. Don't be that weird. Don't be weird like that. But like in the
Right.
comments, like ask us anything. Like we want to just kind of have fun with you guys today. Um, and that's
We'll
what we're
get
gonna do.
Josh in here in a bit.
We'll get Josh in the mix. Um, Javi is busy tonight. Javi's on he's in the chat room. Hey, Army of 100 Sheep. We got Javi. If you guys haven't checked out Army of 100 Sheep, that's Javi's solo work and he's been releasing music consistently. It's really great. So um
Yeah, I'm still waiting on Mo for mine.
well, and he's working on acoustic stuff for us too. So he's got his
yeah.
plate pretty full. Um
Well, I went over there like over a week ago and we pretty much my song and that other Nearly Dead song we got all like hashed out. I'm just waiting on mixes, but
oh, here, this is a
whatever,
good
no
thing.
rush.
These are good questions. Oh no. What would you rather throw away, love or money? Who's going to say that they would throw love away? Like you can have all the money in the world, but you know what I mean? That's dumb.
Yeah, but also you can love multiple people. So do you have to throw away all of love, like you can't love anybody,
Yeah.
or you just got to get rid of like one person that you love, like
Oh fuck. Like
one
line up
love.
your family.
Yeah, it's like I love
Line
all
up
of you, but I gotta
your
give
your
away one of
significant
you.
other, or maybe you're in like maybe you're in a poly relationship. You just line them up, line
For
up
your
your
friends, you
family,
love your
line up your
friends.
friends, and one's got to go so you can
Yeah.
be a multimillionaire. If it was like
It's
that,
definitely Tommy or
I
Ricky.
would trade Josh.
I'm giving up Ricky immediately for the money. I hope
Hmm.
he's watching and listening.
Lawrence asked, I think what they're trying to ask if what for our next album, how will we sound? Like, what are we
Yeah.
going for on the next album? I feel like definitely like no, like we're very
Hear me out.
90s. We're very 90s, so I feel like we are listening to a lot of like well, 90s early 2000, just like going to the emo roots.
Well, I don't even know if emo would
Like Foo Fighters,
describe
Rise
it.
Against, Jimmy Eat World, Offspring.
Yeah, when people hear emo, they're thinking like TBS,
Yeah, it's
Dashboard.
not
Like
really
it's not
like
really
that. It's a
that.
little like more
Um,
rock than that, but
this is the way I thought of it, and I know it's a Smashing Pumpkins reference, but I feel like this is our Melancholy, because if you listen to the album Melancholy, it's such a wide range of sounds. It's like you got
yeah.
Tonight that's got all these strings. You got Zero that's just straight up heavy top to bottom. Then you got like songs like Cupid de Loque, which is all harp and like
Yeah.
weird little things, and just like every song has its own like sort of unique sound. And that's kind of how I feel about this album for us, where it's like
Eclectic.
it all falls under the Nearly Dead's umbrella. It sounds like Nearly Dead's. There's guitars, there's drums, there's TJ, and it's all rock. It's all alternative, but yeah, I mean we've got songs that, like you said, are very kind of grungy 90s Foo Fighters. There's some that are a little bit more um Rise
Like pop,
Against
like
and
punk,
aggressive.
kind of pop
There's
punk as well. A couple of
some
them.
pop punk. There's
Mm-hmm.
some like more musy kind of big
Theatrical.
theatrical
Yeah.
industrial kind of stuff, and then Javi's song is very like broken down acoustic.
Yeah, like a very beautiful song. I have a great verse for that just popped in my head today, like out of nowhere, and I'm just like, thank you, lyrical angels, for smiling upon me. That's like what I was waiting for. Like, I know it sounds like,
Josh is in the waiting room, by the
oh,
way.
sweet. Josh. I know it sounds like counterintuitive, but like with certain songs, man, I just like I listen, and then like when it's time, it's like go time. Like the spark hits and I'm just like this and this and this, and then I'm like feeling my own lyrics and I'm like, yeah, this is fucking good. And that's what I want. Hi Josh.
Hi.
Hi, say hi to everybody who's watching. Hi. Did
Hello.
you get a haircut or are you just like not wearing a hat today?
I'm just not wearing a hat.
You look nice.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, you got the Johnny Bravo
You
wave
got
going
a little beard going.
Yeah.
Liking the look.
Thank you.
So
Speaking of beards, I didn't realize how divisive shaving would be. I just like,
dude, who got is people are people against you for you shaved your beard?
yeah, it's very divisive. Like it was like one of those. I don't know why I always pick winter to change my look. It could, when my face is going to be cold, but I think it's one of those things. I get snowed in for 2 days, get Stockholm syndrome, and
You're
I'm
just
like,
like,
I'm gonna shave.
Yeah,
So
I need to
shave.
change.
Yeah, and it's like
Yeah.
I kid you not, it's almost like 50-50. I got like half my friends that are like, oh, I really like it. You look good clean shaving, and then the other half are like, dude, grow your beard back. You look weird. Like it's no good. And I'm like,
That is the
probably will
struggle.
eventually.
You look good, buddy.
Thanks, buddy.
I like it. I mean, yeah. You guys all look good no matter what. So
Hey.
one of these, do you guys, when you do go clean, do you do a weird mustache for like a couple of days?
No, I mean, I'll shave it in sections just to see. Like,
I do that
here's
too.
the mustache.
Do you get weird with it? Jordan like does a Burt Reynolds because he has really thick hair. My husband, for people who don't know who are watching, and he rocks his fucking Burt Reynolds for like a week. And it's a thick caterpillar mustache, and
Yeah, he can
he just
grow
shaved the
thick.
rest of it. It's like, why? Yeah, why does everybody want to shave their beards? Probably the snow days.
Yeah.
Right.
No, I've
I'm
never.
jealous of his mustache growing abilities because I wouldn't mind like doing a Freddie Mercury or something for a while, but my mustache isn't thick enough to like look cool on its own.
That's how mine is. Like if I had Jordan's stash, that would be.
Then
that
you'd
would
be like,
it.
hell yeah, I'm a man. I'm
Yeah.
rocking this shit. I'll own
But
this place.
yeah, like I can't commit to it like he does. I do like what you were saying, Steve. Like I'll shave and have a goatee and just see what it looks like, then shave the bottom off and just have a mustache, and then I just shave it all
Then you
off.
get grossed out and you're
Yeah.
like, no, this has got to go. I don't want to look like I'm in some like 80s porno.
Yeah.
And then Soul Queef over here on YouTube is throwing shade.
Who's that new band member?
He's making jokes.
I don't even know.
Making jokes.
I mean, I've got like curly hair today. I feel like I look different. You know what I mean?
I feel
Look
like
good.
your glasses are bigger.
My glasses, I'm wearing my blue light glasses, which I haven't been wearing, but I really need to when I do these. Plus, I really did not feel like doing makeup today. Like, I was napping like 20 minutes before we went live. I want to go to a couple questions before we kind of like catch up with Josh. Because, okay, so today, Josh, we're doing like a weird Ask Me Anything. I actually have some really good questions that I pulled up. So I think this is going to be fun. And then we're taking questions from the comment section. Okay. So we're live on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. Everybody who's on there, thank you guys again so much for watching. And we really appreciate you guys. Shout out to Martin on YouTube. Domenico says, Never Look Back is one of my favorite songs ever, which we love to hear. Thank you so much for the support. We are writing more new songs for you. Hopefully they will also become your new favorites. Jefferson is saying, I think, hello from Brazil. Mike said, are you guys interested in come back to Huntsville? We need to do a Trace Locos and Nearly Dead's show. Do you remember? I remember that show.
Oh,
is at some weird bar, but they were amazing. And like Javier still wears his Trace Locos t-shirt.
Yeah, he does.
Like very regularly, like probably wore it on one of our live streams. Like, yeah, we love you guys.
Kevin's probably still wearing it.
Kevin's probably still wearing it. Yeah, for sure.
I'm sure he conned them into giving him a free shirt.
Dude, yeah, probably. He probably gave him one of ours and never told us. Like, whatever. I don't even care. Also, hello to somebody else was on here. Oh, Danny Rose. Love you guys. Still wish I could get y'all on a real Fallout game.
Does that mean you want us in the game, or is he wanting to play with us like on Fallout 76?
Fallout 76? Can you play with people? That's not like a shooter. Can you? Oh, you can play with people?
Yeah, it's like an open world kind of. It's like an MMO, like World of Warcraft. Just
Fallout. See, I never got into it. We got it, but never got into it. But that would be really
weird.
fun.
It was weird at first because there was no NPCs or anything. So it wasn't until like a year later they added all this content where you like your missions, you're actually talking to people in the game. Because it was weird at first. There was no like humans in the game. The only people you'd see were like other players.
Okay, so
missions, you had to go read things.
Yeah. They said they meant the music video that we did. They want us on a actual game soundtrack, which we agree.
Oh, yeah.
That would be great.
That's literally the dream. Like, I mean, oh man, that's like the dream. Like if one of our songs could be like the theme song for a video game, like I feel like that is very fitting because clearly half of our live streams we just end up talking about. They devolve into video game conversations.
Yeah, or a like a cool like show because the and I'm not trying to throw shade here or anything, but I'm watching the new Dota anime on Netflix. What is it called? Arcane, It's really, really good. But the theme song is Imagine Dragons, and every time it comes on, I'm just like,
Is it radioactive?
no, it's like a song they wrote for the show.
Oh, that's cool.
But it's cool. Yeah, but it's still just like,
Hey man, there's no reason we won't be doing stuff like that in the future.
I mean, that's a dream too.
no, yeah, it's
Right.
like I'm happy for them. I just can't stand hipster rap. I just like when hipsters rap, it's like nails on a chalkboard for me. I'm just like,
Danny says Arcane is the LOL show. I don't really know what that means, but it sounds funny.
I don't know. I've been enjoying it. I've only seen like 3 episodes, and then I got distracted with Queer Eye, and now I'm distracted with more seasons of Ink Masters.
Dude, I'm watching this show Heist right now about these people who like pull off like heists in real life.
Oh, in real life.
Cool.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, I thought I saw that. Is it on Netflix?
It's on Netflix.
I thought I saw it on. Yeah.
Like
I haven't
people
seen
who
it,
steal like
but...
millions of dollars, like
yeah,
and get kind of get away with it for a while, like, and then go on the run. Like they like interview these people after they've all been in jail for like years.
Oh, yeah. Sorry,
really
he corrected us. League of Legends. I said Dota,
but
God. I meant League of Legends, and I want to.
I'm so stupid. I go LOL show.
Yeah,
like laugh out loud.
That's what I
like,
thought at first, because I don't.
It's like,
play
oh,
much
the
League
LOL
of
show.
Legends,
That's.
But
I don't know.
I want to acknowledge Catastrophe Games, who says, "How good are you guys at giving advice?" Now, here's the thing: we may be good at offering up our advice, but whether our advice is good, I can't really stand behind that.
Somebody said it's the same game. They say, meh.
Well, Dota and League of Legends are the
same game
type of game. MOBAs.
All right, I want to dive into these questions. So I'm dying to know what you guys have to say. What's the weirdest thing you have in your refrigerator? Go now, Josh.
Like, I don't have a lot in my refrigerator. I don't know. I don't think I have anything weird in it. Pickles are those weird? Like,
they're weird if you make them weird.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I don't. Yeah, that's kind of tough. Like, I don't have anything weird. I don't have like an off the wall kind of like sauce or something, you know.
Yeah,
basic
like,
stuff.
I'm out of a lot of my groceries because I've already cooked everything on my meal plans. But yeah, I don't usually stock up on a bunch of stuff. I usually just kind of like, so the only thing that stays in my fridge are like sauces and stuff you don't use right away. So, but I don't think there's anything weird. I mean, unless some people might think like hoisin sauce or fish sauce is weird that you use to make Asian dishes, or, you know, I got like pickled red pepper.
Y'all don't have like an eye mask or something, like nothing like that? You don't have your deodorant or like batteries or like some weird thing like that in there? Like, people keep weird stuff in their fridge. Coffee.
Really?
People keep coffee in their freezer.
Well, I use K-cups now, but
Dude,
like, I would keep coffee in the fridge, like grounds, but
Doolin just said they have earthworms in their fridge.
I mean, if you fish
for fishing, or
yeah,
do you
like,
have a snake or something you feed them to? Elaborate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If he's like, I don't fish and don't have a snake, then yeah, that's pretty weird, I guess. But
for fish, it's for fish. Javi said ginger sprouts. That's kind of weird. Ginger sprouts not your everyday thing in there.
Yeah. I mean, I guess.
I feel like for me, like I have the little eye mask things that I keep in there. I have like a face roller that I keep. I actually have a mini fridge on my vanity for that stuff. And like sometimes I'll put an eye cream in there. And yeah, just
are you supposed, is it like extend its like.
No, it just feels
Or
good.
make it work better.
Oh, it just feels better.
It just feels like a spa.
Mm.
Yeah. So let's see. Jefferson says new songs for this year. Yeah.
More of the acoustic stuff's coming out, and I'm sure. I mean, we're gonna be hitting the studio like May-ish, so my goal would be to at least have one single from the new record come out this year. My goal is to have the whole record come out this year, but we gotta just take it as it goes. I mean, with
we're taking our
living in different
time.
places with COVID restrictions and everything, it's hard to say. It's hard to make definitive plans. So
Absolutely, because stuff keeps changing.
Well.
Things are going well. And we also really want to like creatively take our time to make sure that this is like the best it can possibly be. So yeah, just be on the lookout for that. And how many of you guys have seen our video for Freak Show? We like just released that like 2 months ago, maybe. That's exciting.
Yeah.
I love that video. I'm really proud of it. Catastrophe. How good are you guys with giving advice?
Yeah, I already brought that up.
Did you? What did you
Oh,
say?
that was one of the questions.
You have to say who asked it and then what
I did.
Did you?
Yeah, you weren't listening to me because I said I want to really quickly point out Catastrophe Games. And I said, he asked, how good are you guys at giving advice? And I said, we're really good at giving advice, but whether our advice is good is hard to say.
What was I rambling on about? Whatever. So Salt Nation says Freak Show is one of their favorites. Billy says it's great. So love it. Thank you guys for watching. And
it's really
sharing.
climbing up there on Spotify.
It's doing good.
It's become like one of the new favorite singles.
And it's on TikTok too. So we're on TikTok, y'all. Go follow us if you're into the TikTok. I don't really post. I just kind of like creep.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie. Like,
I think we're just too
time
old
to come up with TikTok ideas, man.
TikTok,
yeah.
People are so good at it, and I'm just like so intimidated.
It's again, I think it's just more things that you have to do to be successful with music that have nothing to do with music, and then that just frustrates me. I'm just like, I just want to make music, put it out there, people like it, we're good. I don't want to learn social media apps and like have to be on all the time.
We're always gonna have to learn something new. There's gonna be stuff that comes out new all the time.
Right.
Yeah.
And I'd rather just pay people to do that.
True. So what? Okay. You've been given an elephant. You can't get rid of it. What do you do with it?
Obviously, break it down for parts. Like sell the ivory.
Oh, jeez. I was gonna say keep it as a pet.
Yeah, like The Simpsons when Bart had his pet Stampy.
Yeah, I would.
Kept eating Homer.
Elephants are like really smart, so I would run with that. Like, have you ever seen that video that elephant that like paints?
Yeah.
I'd teach my elephant to paint for sure.
I'm sure
maybe play an instrument
and then
maybe play drums.
It could definitely play a drum, like just with one stick. It could just
start a band, man.
Yeah,
the elephant band.
Wow, Javi. Wow, he said he'd make a piano.
Oh,
I know, that's fucked up, Javier. That's cruelty to animals. We're gonna hear from PETA now.
Again, I don't think TJ is listening to anything I say in this podcast. Right before
you
Josh,
did throw
I
out
I said I would break it down for parts. Start with the ivory.
You said that? Josh was talking at the time.
No, it was before Josh said
He
anything.
did say it before I said anything. Yeah.
It's like TJ's got like this filter system that every time I talk, it like mutes.
I'm sorry. I think I just have a slight ADD, and like if I'm thinking of something else at the same time that you're talking, like if I just finished the question, like I'm still thinking of like what I'm gonna answer it with, and then maybe I don't listen. I'm sorry.
No, it's fine.
I will try to be better, because now the people that are watching are like, this bitch doesn't listen to her bandmates. She
I like
doesn't
that
give
you
a
or
shoot
or
off
they're
and on.
thinking like half of the band would sell the elephants or make something from it.
That's fucked up, man.
Right.
I would
Yeah.
I literally like would like build it a pond, you know, because don't elephants need to like they take water and then like splash it on themselves to like
Yeah,
keep
they love to
cool and
play.
stuff. Yeah, I'd make them a
Yeah.
little moat. My elephant would be a boy, I guess. And I would just, man, make sure it was like happy.
Yeah.
Um Jefferson says or Jefferson, how was the return to activities after COVID-19? Well, man,
Great.
it's kind of like the same.
It is. Yeah.
I live in a state where we have to wear masks indoors still, so like the only thing that's different is like maybe the tables aren't as spread out at restaurants. And like as soon as you
And
go
I
to a
live in a
restaurant,
state.
you take
I
the
live in a
mask
state that
off.
didn't really shut down at all. So, I mean,
Everyone is getting COVID, you
Yeah.
guys. My mom has it right now. My sister just has it. Like a bunch of people, like college kids that I know, like they all got it over the holidays. Like it's just going around.
yeah, I have a lot
Yeah.
of friends that have got it too, and but luckily this is kind of the weakest strand. It's like one of those that it's like infecting everybody, but it's not nearly as potent as the earlier strands.
Yeah, I
which
mean,
is
people
good.
still, you know, people are still, there's still deaths from COVID. And so you know, everybody out there, just be safe and be mindful and, you know, take it seriously. We're still kind of in the middle of it, I would say. But the holidays when people get together, obviously that like always causes a bit more cases. But I just don't think it's the like since COVID, you know what I mean? Like, honestly, when I got married earlier this year and you guys came to the wedding and it was like things were just starting to open up, everyone had just gotten vaccinated and it was just like, that to me felt like the most normal. And then a month later, it felt just like the same again. It was really weird. Like in America, like things, do you guys feel the same way? Like things
Yeah.
opened up for like 2 months. I went on my honeymoon. I went to Vegas, no masks, totally fun, totally normal. Nightclubs are open, like restaurants, it's just like a free for all. Nobody's wearing masks. We were totally fine. We didn't get sick. And then it was like 2 months later, everything was just like right back.
Yeah. It was like the middle of last year. It was like I was going to concerts. I was going to like sporting events.
Mm-hmm.
You know. So it was kind of like, yeah. I mean, everything's back to normal, but yeah, I don't
Now you
know.
can do
Like,
all that stuff, but you have to wear a mask,
yeah.
even if you're
Um.
vaccinated or whatever.
Yeah.
Well, not in Tennessee.
Y'all just don't live in Tennessee. It's like
Well.
we haven't. I think we were like our bars were shut down for like 3 months during the peak of COVID,
Yeah.
and that was about it. And since then, like after the bars reopened, because it affected the income and like tourists, because Nashville's very tourist heavy. They opened everything back up, and it was like a couple months after that you had to wear your mask everywhere, like going to stores, unless you were sitting at a table. But I mean, honestly, since mid last year, even pretty early last year, I mean, things have just been open. Nobody's worn masks since like March or April of last year. Like
That's so weird.
nobody wears masks anywhere. It's like here, if you see somebody, you'll see people wearing masks, but they're like the odd person out. It's like,
That's so weird to me.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely like that here as far as like grocery stores and stuff. Like nobody's really wearing masks and it's not like mandated. But I guess in my like circle, it's like I'm mostly either in school or in a hospital, so it's like I'm always wearing a mask. So
right.
I still feel like, you
Like
know,
the
Yeah.
same.
yeah,
Hospitals and the airport are pretty much the only
yeah,
two places that require masks.
Yeah.
yeah.
But
Well,
not even in a normal doctor's office. I went to the eye doctor. The people working there didn't have masks on.
that's so weird.
That's crazy.
Everywhere here is mask mandatory. I went to the grocery store, huge signs on every business front, mask required. They're back. Like it's just,
Wow.
I live in Rhode Island. This is just like a government mandate, a order of governor. And you know, people just do it. There's not a lot of backlash. It's like whatever. Most people are vaccinated here. But
Yeah, it's not like people aren't like aggressively like down with mask. I mean, there's some places, like corporate places that you require it, or you'll have some people, that just their business requested, and if that's the case, you just wear a mask because that's what they want, and you just be respectful to the
yeah,
person's home or business,
yeah.
and nobody complains, but it's just not required. It'd be funny if like pretty much nowhere requires mask in Nashville, but it would be funny if when I go to my dentist appointment on Monday, that's the one place that they're like, you have to wear a mask. And I'm like,
And then
well,
they
how
just
are you
like
going to
put
work
their
on my
fingers
teeth?
right in your mouth.
You've got to wear
Yeah.
a mask still.
So yeah, that was a pretty good topic, I guess. Like we kind of, giving you guys a lay of the land. I know we got a lot of people from all over the world. I love hearing how things are. Um, Billy says, was that Scotch or bourbon?
It is Irish whiskey.
Nice.
Nice.
Have you guys heard of Pappy Van Winkle?
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, but I can't relate it. What?
so
I've heard the name.
that show Heist I'm watching, these guys worked at Buffalo Trace and like stole a bunch of Pappy Van Winkle, which is like $1,000 a bottle or something, and like had this whole ring going of like they would work there and they would just kind of like take a bottle or two off the line. I don't know, and like nobody ever noticed. So I'm like in the middle of the episode. It's really fucking interesting, but I'm like dying to try that whiskey. Or I guess it's bourbon. I don't know. It's like barrel aged 20-year-old or bourbon, I believe. Buffalo Trace is great.
Mo has a friend who's like a bourbon whiskey collector, and he's got like a bar in his house where he has some of like the rarest blends, and he's got like tons of this stuff. He's like a connoisseur, a big collector of it. And Mo said that I guess over the Christmas break, New Year's, he was like, hey, I just found a bunch of these bottles and I bought a bunch of these very rare things. He's like, do you want some? I got some extra. And Mo was like, I don't know what happened. I spent like $900 on whiskey. He like got a bunch of bottles for him, and he's like, I'm set. He's like, I'm set for a while. He's like, you want to try this one? I'm like, yeah, I do.
Yeah.
That's
it
awesome.
was like toasted honey or something. But we skipped over Catastrophe had a comment earlier saying, I'm 24, turning 25, been unemployed since graduating college. Life is rough, but your music really helps. I don't know why I can't find a decent job. I just can't. Well, we're sorry that you can't find employment, and we're glad that we can help in whatever way we can, boost your spirits a little bit with our music. But I'm sure there's something out there if you just stick with it. Sometimes you just gotta like think outside the box. I'm currently we all are not private about like music isn't our full-time only job. We also work to pay bills, and I do carpentry, and that's something that I never thought that I was going to do. I just like met people, and they were doing construction remodels and stuff, and I started working with them, and through them I ended up getting hired at a cabinet company, and through them I met installers and trained with them, and then started my own business. And it was all these things that it was never my plan. I wasn't searching for it. It just kind of like the opportunity presented itself. So maybe for you, I don't know what you're doing to look for work, but maybe you're just really focused on a certain type of job that you want, and there's nothing available in that type. So maybe just try leaving yourself open to new ideas and other possibilities.
I'm also curious to know if like what you graduated with. I want to know what you studied, because I think I'm just interested anyway, just to see. And where you're living, because I think that would give us some perspective if we in any way can shed a little light or maybe give you a little bit of advice. I don't know. I think those two things are really crucial. Because like Javi just commented, Nashville, everyone's hiring. I mean, you hear that a lot. Everyone's hiring. But
Yeah, I do see a lot of hiring signs, and a
Yeah.
lot of places are
But
places
if you're
that,
living
I
like
don't
in a
really want to work
small
that,
town
but
or something, like maybe there's not a lot of jobs to go around. Even like when it comes to Rhode Island, it's a very small state. I felt like, I do feel like there's not a ton to go around. Like in Nashville, you can go up and down the strip and Broadway and be a waiter, bartender, bar back, busboy, whatever. If you just need something, there's like you can stone throw and get yourself a job. Like when I was living in Nashville, I bartended and it was like easy. If I lost a job, I could find a job tomorrow because it's like that industry. It's touristy. There's work everywhere. But I definitely I feel like it's not like the case everywhere. So I don't know if you're still watching. Give us a little comment, give us a little backstory. Um,
yeah,
Maybe we can
and then I
help.
know it's sometimes, especially coming out of college, it's easy to maybe get discouraged or feel down if you're not working in the
In
field
your
that you got
field,
your
yeah.
degree in. But the reality is that is that is typically the exception to the rule. Like people who graduate and they immediately get jobs in their career field is it's honestly more rare than it is common, and those are the very fortunate few. And I have a degree in audio engineering. I'm not an engineer. I don't have a studio. I don't work in a studio. um, and I can either say that, it's because I didn't do certain things or wasn't good enough or whatever, or it's just like, life takes turns. I think it's very unrealistic for somebody at the first quarter of their life to know what they're going to do for the rest of their life. You're young, you haven't experienced all there is to experience. There could be something that you're really passionate about that you don't even know exists yet, and then that thing it presents itself, and you're like, wow, this is really fun and interesting. I like this, and I can make money doing this. I had no idea this even existed when you're like in
Hmm.
college trying to
Yeah.
decide like
Diversify.
Yeah.
You
co-
diversify your portfolio. Think outside the box. Like try something new. You
yeah,
know.
I think college is
Yeah.
really there just for that experience of like working with people, socializing, understanding how to learn, how to think critically, how to teach yourself stuff. And I think you're building a foundation of skills more so than, hey, I'm learning to specifically do this thing. You know, Josh, you're in college now for a very specific thing, but you started this later in your life after you've already had experiences and could, I guess, better decide, hey, this is something I'm actually very interested in and I want to get into. Am I wrong?
No, exactly. That's exactly right. I mean, that was kind of why I decided not to go to college when I was like right out of high school because well, I think it gets a little more complicated when music is like, you want to pursue that career path too,
Right.
But no, definitely. I mean, I would say I'm the only one out of like what was my friends group and even like my family who didn't go to college like right after high school because it's tough. There is that stigma of not getting a job or, like you were just saying. Um, but I would say most of them don't, and a lot of them, yeah, later on still found kind of their niche afterwards. But the experience you get with college, I mean, you know it's it's uh it's definitely, it's worth it. I mean, just with the people you meet and the connections you make, and yeah.
I'm reading this book right now that she made the point that knowledge is something that no one can ever take from you, which is very profoundly accurate. So cheers to you for graduating college and going. Um, my advice is like also don't be hard on yourself. Like
Yeah.
give yourself a break. Life can be rough, but we do have each other, and you're healthy. You're out here. Um, yeah, but like, yeah, I don't know. I love what Josh was saying about like going to school and stuff, and like you will be like I just felt so proud of myself when I graduated, and it's something that nobody can ever take from me, and nobody can ever tell me that I don't know what I know. Like, no one can take that. It's very like, and it's only you. It has nothing to do with your significant other, has nothing to do with your family, has nothing to do with your friends. Like, you did that. You alone. You cannot BS your way through college, you know?
Yeah.
So be proud of yourself for that. Like, cheers to you guys. Josh is graduating soon. Like, hell
Yep.
yeah. Be proud of yourself. It's fucking not an easy feat. A lot of people don't even fucking finish, or they don't go. And it's not for everybody. So if you don't want to go, then don't go. But I'm a big advocate for it. So we're proud of you. We're cheering you on. We're in your corner. Hell yeah.
Yeah. It's about time
Yeah.
Josh graduates so we can get him in the studio.
Yeah,
and just
dude, we need to
beat
go on
him
tour.
until we need to beat him until he finishes. But
Somebody
I mean,
else.
I have some past, and you don't have to feel bad about the employment either, because that happens. A lot of people go through that. I have a lot of past relationships that will verify that I've had periods in my life where I've been unemployed.
Yeah,
and,
man. Like,
Yeah.
everybody
not
fucking.
working, so.
I mean, I worked at Wetzel's Pretzels, man. I
Oh,
couldn't
we
find
should all
anything
say,
else.
like, what was your worst job?
Yeah.
Like, what was your
Oh, that is
worst
a good-
fucking
that's a good
job
talk.
that you're just like,
that's good.
like,
Good topic.
where did you last like the least amount of time?
Ooh.
Or maybe you worked there
Man.
for a while, but
You
you were
know-
just like, fuck this place.
The funny thing is, like, I actually really enjoyed working at Wetzel's. It was just the pay, was not the best.
Didn't they pay you
I-
like minimum wage?
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
$7 fucking
It was
50.
it was like $7.15 or something, yeah. And it wasn't enough to pay for like the apartment. I mean, I worked there for like 2 weeks and got like a better job, but I would say my
Gonzalez
I-
Media, Dan Gonzalez says Captain D's and that it was smelly. The seafood,
Ooh.
like the fucking fast food seafood place. Like,
That would
yo,
be-
that sounds awful.
Yeah, that would be rough. Yeah,
I'm
I
going
would
to
say
have lunch with Gonzalez Media tomorrow.
Hell yeah. Are we doing another
Nice.
video?
Hey, yeah, let's plan it out.
Let's plan it. All right. Go
I would
on.
say
Finish what you're saying, Josh. I'm
Oh
sorry.
yeah, that's not the worst. I'd say the worst job I had was I worked for like my local park, and it was like I was a freshman working with a bunch of like upperclassmen, and so that wasn't good. And it was like hard labor. Like I remember having to like I had this well, I'm a freshman, so I had like I was even smaller than I am now, and I had this like I had this giant like weed whacker and had to weed whack this hill. It was a wall, like it wasn't even a hill, and it was like a giant one. You had like straps on and everything, and I think I made $5 an hour. Granted, that was like back, yeah.
Wow.
That was like
when
12
was that
years ago.
ever legal? $5 an
Yeah.
hour. Minimum wage has
Yeah.
been 7 something for like 45
No,
years.
I know. I'm pretty sure it was like under the table. It was just a terrible job.
$5
Like,
an hour, Josh. No.
Yeah, that was rough.
Damn. All right, that takes the cake.
yeah.
What an insult.
It was a rough time. Yeah. Granted, that was like my first job, but still.
I worked at Taco Bell for like one shift in high school and was like, nope, can't do this. My very first job was McDonald's. My mother was a manager of McDonald's my whole childhood growing up. She worked for McDonald's for like 20 years, was a manager, hired me and my sister when they were busy. I guess they let her do that. We were like 14 and I worked there for like 2 weeks, but like, I don't know how I ever ended up in my life working at Coyote Ugly or being a bartender or a waitress. Like when I was in high school, I was like painfully shy. So you put me with a little drive-through headset on and like people start going, I was like totally petrified. I could not learn the register. I was just like this little kid, just like, oh my God, I hate this. And then they gave me like a mop and they were like, here you go. And I was like, what do I do with this? Like, I just it did not compute with me. I don't know. And I was like, I had my mom call them and tell them that I didn't want to work there anymore. And I had to wear like a gigantic shirt. Like when I was in high school, I was like very small as well, very scrawny. So they give you like a fucking uniform. I was like a uniform. Like it was like huge. and I definitely lasted like one shift, and I was like,
It seems like there's a theme here because Javi said mellow mushroom. It seems like everybody, all these jobs you all are complaining about are like sort of food related, and Captain D's, Mel Mushroom, Taco Bell, whatever restaurants. And I've worked at restaurants for like a decade of my life, and I mean, they definitely get stressful, and there were definitely moments that I did not want to be there, especially when I worked the restaurants that are bars open till 3 a.m. and you're getting home super late, and you get the shitty customer. And but honestly, though, it's like you had those stressful moments, but I also had some of the best moments, just the camaraderie with your friends and servers there. Sometimes the money you make is stupid. um, I would say my least favorite job is honestly more recently, and it was before I got into doing the carpentry when I was working at the cabinet business. And for me, it was more of just how it was managed and how my brain works. I went there to apply to be a designer, and when I did the interview, that's what they brought me in for. But then when I sat down, they were like, "Oh, never mind. We have enough designers. We really need help in our warehouse. Would you you seem like a professional person, like you got your stuff together. Would you be interested in managing our warehouse for now? And once a designer position opens up, we'll move you over here to this
That's
side and we'll hire someone
bullshit.
else."
So many jobs do that. They bait and switch
Yeah.
you. They
Yeah.
hire
So I was
you, and then
like,
they're like, once you get on the table, they're like, oh, by the way, I know you said like you blah blah blah. We know we said this many hours, but it's only going to be this much. Or we know we said
right.
no overtime, but you're going to have to do overtime or whatever. They always fucking do that, man.
And
Yeah.
it's
They get you
and
in.
but it was at a time when I really needed, it was one of those times I was unemployed and I needed a job. I needed to make some money for my household, and so I was like, fine, I'll do it. So I go over there, and I think, okay, I'm going to be the guy back here running the show, make sure the deliveries are coming out, they're going out, that everything's
Yeah.
organized, the guys assembling. That's what I thought I was going to do. And the two guys that assembled there were these guys from Burma. Super cool. I still keep in touch with one of them. Very nice guys, and I had a lot of fun working with them. But ultimately, I ended up not so much managing, but being a glorified delivery guy. And I was just like constantly, because the the people running the business were so disorganized, they didn't have enough staff, and I ended up having to like load trucks and drive deliveries and unload. And like 90% of the time they didn't have the full order there, so I'm delivering it to places that are like pissed off because they're like, well, where's this and where's this? And I'm like, we don't have it yet, it's coming later. And they're like, why? And I'm like, because my bosses are idiots. And then they would like, our boss was so obsessed with like growing the business and getting clients that he would make these insane promises where normally you tell somebody when they make an order, it's like, okay, this is going to take a couple weeks to arrive because we got to get the ship it. And he would make these things like, oh, I guarantee you'll get this order in 3 days. So they would like get a shipment in that came in at like 5 o'clock on a Friday, but they had guaranteed they'd get it in by Monday. So we'd have to work on weekends or work until 8 at night, driving all the way 2 hours to deliver something on a Friday night and getting home at 9. And the truck, they weren't maintaining it. So like the headlights weren't even working. So I'm like driving home in the dark with just the running lights barely running.
Jeez.
And
Oh,
I'm like,
wow.
this is dangerous. And so finally I was like, I'm done with this place, and
Good.
I'm just the
Yeah.
type of person, I don't like confrontation. So I just made up some sort of excuse that I was just like, yeah, I got an opportunity elsewhere. It's, you all know I do music. It's like a music thing. I gotta get. They're like, sure,
Yeah.
we'll raise your salary. We'll do this. And I'm like,
Hell no, they always
no.
say
Nah,
that. They
yeah.
won't.
No.
They won't. Then they'll be like, "Oh, sorry. Well, we actually couldn't do that." Good for you for getting out. Good for all of us for
Yeah.
quitting those shitty jobs. I mean, I think I've had worse. I worked at Macy's during the holidays. Again, making like $7 a fucking hour or some shit and just being like,
Yeah.
this ain't worth it, man. Like you'd have clothes stacked up in the fitting room like this high and like the customers were very demanding. I was just like, I can't do this. This is not the tea for me. And like they were very short staffed. So it's really hard. Like a lot of places are short staffed and then it makes it like harder on the people that are there. And that was while I was like in Wisconsin living with my aunt. We were just doing music full time, but she was like, you gotta like get something. So I was like, all right. And I was like, get this little this little gig. I did not like it. It was so like it was depressing a little bit too.
That's crazy. I just feel like Macy's is like a happy place. But I guess if you work for it, yeah.
Yeah. It depends. But like there's definitely people that work at Macy's that are just like they love it. It's a big family, big community, but
yeah.
Maybe it was just the one that I worked at. So Elkinus says a job doesn't define you. Your life is yours only. And I thought that was really great that they said that.
That's cool.
So it's true though. You know what I mean? Like it's really true. Like you got to separate yourself. Like work is work, you know, and like what your passions, your life, your family, your friends, like that's really what matters in life at the end of the day. Like we all got to support ourselves. But you know, I'm glad that you brought that up. Shaky the magician says, hey guys, I'm a newer fan of your band and is still working
Awesome.
a shitty job. Please do tell.
Yeah, because I don't understand how being a magician and photographer can be shitty. Because that sounds awesome.
Yeah.
The magical photographer.
The magical photography. If you're a newer fan of the band, tell us where you found us and what song like was your gateway drug to the world of the Nearly Deads. We've been a band for like a fucking decade, which I can't believe, since we were babies. And now we're slightly older babies, chilling and giving life advice.
Yeah.
So I want to know, if you, I've had these questions on deck that I've been dying to ask you guys.
Okay.
Would you rather look like a potato or feel like a potato?
This is a hobby question. Hobby, get in here. He knows all
Yeah.
about potatoes.
Yeah, hobby
Yeah.
likes
Hobby knows
potatoes.
about potatoes.
He's the potato expert.
He's,
for sure.
He's a big fan of potatoes. I would probably rather feel like a potato, I guess.
What do you think a potato would feel like if you were a potato?
Firm.
But
know?
if you,
that probably means
yeah,
I
I'm
got-
like,
I
what?
got muscle
What is
mass
that?
or something?
What
Like
the-
firm, but they're
Yeah,
kind of
what the-
soft. You know, their skin is kind of fuzzy, so it's like
Their skin
I
is
still
rough.
got.
I mean, we talking mashed potatoes?
Is
I
your
don't know.
potato? You're the
But
potato
if you're
man.
looking at like
You
Just
wanna be
dozens
that?
of potatoes,
Just warm and lumpy, and everybody
we-
loves me.
Yeah, I mean, hey,
I
like,
saw somebody make a
Not a
like
bad
Who
thing.
doesn't
Jabba
like
the Hutt
mashed
sculpture of
potatoes?
Mashed potatoes.
Wait, what were you saying, Steve?
I've seen somebody make a Jabba the Hutt like sculpture out of mashed potatoes. So like if you were mashed potatoes, that's what looking like mashed potatoes, I think. Would be.
okay, so
So if you had the world's attention for 30 seconds, what would you say? This is a big one.
ooh,
Like, go off your instincts. If somebody was like, hey, you know what I mean? Like, say, I don't know, what has the world? It says it's the damn Super Bowl. Everyone's watching, and they hand you the microphone, and they're like, what do you have to say? Like, what are you going to say? Listen to the Nearly Deads?
I'm gonna say it takes effort and energy and a lot of work to have enemies, but it's very easy to have friends. So love people.
I love that.
damn, yeah. And
Profound.
now, I can't follow that. I don't know what. That was good, Steve. I really like that.
It was a conversation that I had last night with someone. I don't know why. I just the past like year or two, I've just been on this big kick of just like loving other people and positivity, and I've kind of felt
Welcome.
like
Welcome to the
I just
party.
kind of feel like that's sort of my mission. It's like I don't really It's like I'm not an important person. I don't have like a job, or I mean, I guess the Nearly Deads is a platform, but it's like I'm not necessarily here changing the world, but I feel like the more I can just be as good as I can possibly be to everybody I know and come in contact with, then hopefully I can elevate others or create positivity. And then at the end of my life, if I just continue to do that, then I can like die and feel good. Like, you know, I was good to people, so I can
Yeah.
feel good about myself.
I love that.
Yeah.
It's like at the end of It's a Wonderful Life when he says no man is a failure who has friends. That one
Yeah.
gets me.
Yeah.
Gets me in the
Yeah.
feels.
Yeah.
Makes me feel
That's
like
so true.
you know, I think that comes with like the older you get, you grow out of those like casual acquaintances and those really close friendships. They matter, you know. So value those, cherish those. I love that. If you had the opportunity, you would just tell people. So the question for everybody, if you had the world's attention for 30 seconds, what would you say? And you were like, you know, basically don't make enemies, make friends. It's easier to make friends. So love each
Well,
other.
yeah, but
Yeah.
even
Love
like
each other.
even for me, like the friendship and positivity and how I treat other people, it goes further than just even like, because I've always been a type of person that I have a small group of close friends. I'm not good at keeping in touch with people, so I don't have a ton of acquaintances. But I guess my idea, or how I try to live my life at least, is treating even the stranger that I just bumped into just now as if they're my best friend, and giving them the same love and respect that I give my best friend, even though I don't know them.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
I think people see that if you treat people with respect, they can, they feel better about themselves. They see that, and then they respond better, and then they're gonna, I think, instinctually want to reciprocate that on the people who they run into. It's kind of that chain reaction where it's like, you know, there was a year or two ago, it just happened to me randomly, like 2 or 3 times, going to Starbucks and going up, and the person in front of me paid for my Starbucks. And that was a nice gesture given to me. And even though I could have just accepted it and been like, this is awesome, it made me want to be like, oh, well, now I want to do that for somebody else. So the next time I went to Starbucks, it's like, hey, can I buy the person behind me? It's just like, so I feel like that's how positivity works. If you put it on somebody in a genuine way, like not in like a forceful, hey, look at how great I am. If you're genuinely just good to somebody, they're going to receive that. It's going to feel good. And they're like, fuck, I got to be positive to somebody else.
One might say it's like a train.
Positivity.
So it's so
a positivity
crazy
train.
because honestly, before you brought that up, Steve, I was actually going to say, because that's happened to me at Duncan quite a few times, and it's really crazy. And they'll be like, yeah, there's a train going of people just paying for the next person like behind them. And that's something I've never started it. It's always been like the person in front of me paid for me, so I'll pay for the person behind me. But that was like a thing I had in my mind that sadly I kind of just like forgot about. But like I've always wanted to start it. I've never started it. Like
Josh stopped it the one day that he was doing it, and he didn't realize it was like a mom with 6 kids behind him, and he's like,
do you have? I love that.
Well, no, I keep it going, but I've never been like the first one in the drive-through and then been like, I'll pay for the person behind me. Like that's something I really want to do.
Do it
like
tomorrow.
I probably will.
Do it tomorrow, dude.
I'll definitely do it tomorrow.
Let's talk about
start the positivity train.
The positivity train.
So.
The kindness. I have a kindness bucket list because I want to be generous to people. I've told you guys this story before on the stream. If you guys, thank you all for watching. Everyone who's tuning in. I know people are like here, there, and everywhere. So everybody who's joining, thank you. Thank you to our patrons who support the streams and our music. We are the Nearly Deads. just to kind of throw that in the middle. I have to remember to do stuff like that sometimes because when we do stream, people like come in and out. But we're talking about, we're doing an Ask Me Anything, random questions. We asked, you know, if you had 30 seconds to speak to the world, what would you say? And so now we're kind of talking about positivity and like, because I think we all kind of said that's what we would say. Just love each other more, do nice things for people, because the world does need to be reminded of that. But I've told this story before. Like one of my dreams was always to like buy a round of drinks for the entire bar, because that is like a boss move. People, when I was bartending, I'd be like, damn, that's the nicest thing. It just cheers everybody up. It's just like so cool. And I'm like, but it was always like a, you know, some baller who would do it. And I'm like, well, I never have like that much money. But when I was on my honeymoon, we were at this like place in the middle of nowhere in Route 66. It was kind of a dive bar, and it was like this legendary like speakeasy place from back in the day. And I just kind of like looked at Jordan. I was like, this is the place. This is the place that we're going to do it. Because also beers were like $3. So I was like, dude. And it was our honeymoon. So I was like, how much could a round for everybody here possibly be? It was like 20 people or something. And I think it ended up being like $80 for the whole bar, which I've worked at bars. Somebody buys a bar for the round for the bar, and it's like $200. And I was like, even so, I was prepared for it. And anyway, that was like the coolest moment. And I was like, I want to do this. Like, just go to the bartender and just be like, just buy a round. And then everybody there knew that we were newlyweds. And then they all started like, you know, saying thank you and getting to know us and shaking our hands. It was just like so much fun. Like, I love doing stuff like that. My absolute bucket list kindness is I want to be that person that randomly fills up somebody else's Kickstarter that I really believe in, or their GoFundMe or their whatever. I want to be that person that can go online and browse and pick a couple and just be like, I'm just going to fill it up anonymously. I love their story. I want to know, and I don't want anyone to know that it was me, or I don't want anything in return. I just want to be like, you know, these people have heart and have passion, because what you guys do for us, like, I'm going to get emotional. Like, what you guys have done for us is like, how could we not want to pay that forward one day when we are successful? Like, we relied on that. We do rely on that. We've gotten to do everything that we've done because you guys helped us with our Kickstarter and our pledge music and helped us make our albums. Like, I just want to make those dreams come true for other people and continue making music that inspires people and just have fun.
And I like that you said, you know, keeping it anonymous. I think that's important too, because then it doesn't become about self, and it's, you know, it's something that you can just feel good about doing, and you're not necessarily doing it for accolades. I know my dad, when he donates to charity, he says he never puts his name down. And it's funny you say that, because that's something that's been on my mind, because you know, I've been blessed recently, and you know, I've always wanted to donate to charity, but being younger and you know, paycheck to paycheck, I've never really had that luxury. And so I've never really thought about like what charity I would donate to. And so I've been trying to think, and I've been browsing, you know, recently, and, you know, I want to look more into it, because, you know, it's like I want to give that blessing, but also to somebody that can really use it and do good with it. And then after like watching this season of Queer Eye, you know, and seeing the guy who's takes care of the homeless or something, and I'm like, that's like something really cool. Like that would be something great to, like, you know, he did a big fundraiser for that. That's obviously already happened, but, you know, finding something like that. And then again, just like, I don't want my name on a plaque. I don't want to know who I am. I want them to receive it, use it, and help out a bunch of people with it.
And I think it's true that like what you give out comes back to you. So if you do, even if it's over tipping, which I like to do as well, even if it's a couple dollars to the Dunkin' girl, it's like, why not? Like, that means a lot to them, and it'll add up by the end of their day, and it's nothing to you. Like, especially like tipping, it's like, what's another $5 on top of this that I'm already spending, You know, it's like just give them
Yeah.
a badass tip or,
Mhm.
you know,
Over Christmas, I was like, oh, here's
tips
my
for
$5
everybody.
drink, $20. Merry Christmas. I was just
Yeah, yeah,
like, Merry
yeah.
Christmas,
Yeah.
Merry
Yeah.
Christmas, you know.
We did
Yeah.
I'm lucky that I'm married with somebody who supports that idea. I actually got that idea from Corey and AJ and our original drummer and his wife, and they're just great charitable people. You know, they're very giving, they're very loving, they're very open, and that was like their main thing. They were like, pay it forward and manifesting, because if you it is a weird mentality where if you treat yourself as if I do have the money to spread the love and like give big tips everywhere I go, you're going to continue to be able to do that. I don't know why it works, but it does work. If you're like, hey, I can afford that, I can afford to give you a tip, I can afford to leave extra, then, you know, more money just kind of finds its way to you.
Yeah, because it's not
Mhm.
selfish. It's not like, oh, I'm gonna go splurge and buy myself a new car that's about me and just, when you're like splurging for other people, again, it's that circulating positive energy.
Yeah.
And I think that's a big when I look up to my dad, I think that's a big component of his success and him never really going wanting is because I feel like he has always been overly charitable whenever he's had the opportunity to help somebody else out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
That's something that we should all do, because if you like, you give and you get. It's like the law of the land. It's the golden rule, you know, do unto others, you know? So
Yeah.
mm,
if you
And
lead with, go ahead.
well, no, and I just think also just in the moment, how it actually makes you feel when you give is
Mm-hmm.
something that you just, you can't replicate. That's just like that feeling.
don't
But
they say like aren't there studies saying that you actually get more endorphin? That's the
I'm
tinglies.
sure.
I think you
Yeah.
get
From
more of
giving.
that from giving than actually receiving.
Yeah,
I'm
I think
sure.
you're
Yeah.
right. Yeah.
That's
And
So,
what
there's
I feel
there's
like
a reason for
Christmas is.
that,
It's like
I mean,
that's how I feel like Christmas, anyways. It's like I didn't even give a list this year because I was just like I don't know what I want, and at Christmas people got me some thoughtful things, and I was like these are really nice. But I was more that morning. I'm just like open what I got you.
yeah.
You're gonna love it. You're gonna love it. And then
Yeah.
just like when they're stoked, I'm like yes, I win. I picked a good thing.
yeah, it's a good
Yeah.
feeling. I just want to quickly jump in and say goodnight to Elkinus. If you're still on, thank you for hanging out with us. You had some great input, and we love having you. So please join us again for the next stream. We usually do these on Wednesdays, but I don't know. Thursday has a pretty good turnout, so maybe we'll start doing Thursday. Whatever, anything goes.
Well, it's really weird. Our Twitch is not as hot tonight. I think Twitch
Twitch is
pops
more of a
on
Wednesday.
Wednesday, but
YouTube's going
YouTube's
off.
really throwing down tonight.
So we also have a new person, Mango Creations, probably the coolest screen name that we've heard in a while. Oop.
Cooler than Soul Queef?
Uh, mm,
I mean,
I'm pretty sure Soulqueep. I want to know, like, they've told us what their screen name means, but I
The
think
acronym.
we just let it be. I think they just love to be called Soulqueef. But Mango Creation says they don't even like mangoes. So please explain your name.
He doesn't eat them. He just carves faces. He carves the president's faces on mangoes and sells them on Etsy. That's what I think it is.
You went weird with it, and I appreciate that. Xavier is hanging out on YouTube, says missed you all, so we're happy to see you again. I think Trigger is watching us on YouTube as well. I don't know if I'm reading your screen name correctly, but hey there.
Looks
Thanks.
like Trigger.
Looks
Yeah.
like Trigger to me. Okay. That was a pretty good that was a good question.
While you're looking for the next topic, I'll go through real quick. What's up, Waygrins from Poland? I can't pronounce that. Thanks for hanging out with us.
It's probably like
Xavier Woodard. Good to see ya.
Vegrin Mm.
And Mango says it's one of my characters' names, and it was what I went by for years. My channel has been Mango Creations for a while. I do like mango and cherry popsicles. All
Yum.
right.
That's cool. It has a ring to it. I like that
Uh,
name.
Speaking of character names and like
Mango
Trigger made me think of
Creations.
it, and we're all gamers. I don't know if you guys pay attention. Josh may know. Some of our fans, I think, will know what I'm talking about because I'm a huge gamer and I follow gaming news. I listen to gaming podcasts. I have all the consoles, and I'm like play all the games whenever I can. But literally, and I've been a gamer since uh, the Super Nintendo days because I'm an old man. Um, and this week, the biggest gaming news has happened of all time. It was one of the biggest acquisitions ever since it, like when Disney bought Marvel and Star Wars big. But this week they announced that uh, Microsoft bought Activision Blizzard, the game publishers who publish Call of Duty and World of Warcraft, StarCraft, Overwatch, all these massive games. They bought that company for $68 billion.
Like,
Wow.
why? So they can own those games, I guess.
Yeah, so now they own all those franchises, they own the companies, and so like they can sell those on Game Pass and they can make them exclusive to Xbox and all this stuff. It was crazy news. And so like in all my feeds, it's like all anybody's ever talking. It's like it's the kind all these memes are popping up where it's like Microsoft is Thanos, and now they've got all these publishers as like the stones in the gauntlet, and it's pretty wild. That they spent that kind of money, but I mean they're going to get a lot of success from it. But it's crazy that Microsoft, this is how big Microsoft is. That wasn't like they went into debt to do that. That was a cash buyout. Microsoft had that amount of cash to pull out and say, we're buying you.
I know, man, and we're all
That's
talking
so
about
crazy.
like trying to make ends meet, making $7 an hour, and there's like 68 million. You said or billion? No, million.
Billion.
Billion?
Billion.
68
Yeah.
billion?
Billion. Yes.
Crazy.
Hey, but they're helping us
But-
out now because now all these games are going to be on Game Pass, which is $15 a month, affordable
Yeah.
for me, as opposed to $70 for each game.
True.
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 Yeah. And they're making money off Game Pass, so they'll get their money.
Oh, they're
back.
getting their money back for
Yeah.
sure.
So
Um,
I got a good question. I got two good questions. One of them is, where'd it go?
Wait, am I getting a delivery? Is that UPS?
Oh boy.
You know what? Okay, here it is. If you could only use one word the rest of your life, what would you choose?
Wow.
Your word would be wow.
Yeah.
Like that could be the only wow. What if you're
Wow.
sad?
Just because I
Wow.
say that a lot.
Wow.
so-
Wow.
It'd be like, yeah, what's his name?
Oh, Owen Wilson.
Owen Wilson.
Yeah.
Wow.
Man,
Wow.
Yeah, what could I
Wow.
like? What's a good word that could be used in any circumstance?
Dude is a good one.
Dude.
works.
Yeah.
I'd go with mango.
Yep.
Mango.
Mango.
That doesn't make any
Mango.
sense. I would never.
Oh.
Doolin says fuck. Fuck would be his
Oh,
word. Just
yeah.
fuck.
Yeah,
fuck.
that-
Fuck.
Well, it's almost like now it is. I am Groot is 3 words, but it would be kind of like that, where it's like
Groot.
Groot. He's
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
I'm Groot for everything. So you're just kind of. That's where my mango comes in. It's like mango for every situation.
Mine, maybe I guess I would choose love. Because at least if I was with somebody, I could say that I love them. I could just say love to them and they would know. Damn, that would suck.
Or you're keeping score in tennis.
Dude,
That's,
I could be real
that's
British
job
and just
security.
that's a highbrow reference right there.
I know.
I could be real British and use trust,
Trust.
man, trust.
You can't say trust, man. You can just say trust
Yeah.
forever.
Yeah.
Trust.
What if you meet a girl? Like, how do you mac?
Hey.
You gotta
Hey,
like do the
hey.
eyebrows
Hey,
and just kind of
hey.
trust.
Only being able to. Doolin says you'd
No,
have to get a
actually, my
group of
word's
people
perfect
together
for
to make a
meeting
sentence.
girl, because trust is one of the most important pillars of a
Hey.
relationship. So it's like, hey,
You're not wrong.
trust.
Yeah.
So the next question that I wanted was, what is the first video game you ever played? Because somebody in the comments said that it was like Grand Theft Auto or something. I was like, no. There's no way that you never played like Mario or Game Boy or something, unless you're very young, which you may as well be. But I'm like, there's no way GTA was your first game. Because
if they're really young, maybe.
okay, so
Yeah.
Doolin says Super Mario for the NES. Legend of Zelda, Majora's Mask on the 64.
Nice.
The first video game, okay. It was Bart vs. the Juggernauts on Game Boy. Like a Simpsons.
Nice.
It was a Simpsons game. And then I had
That's
The
cool.
Little Mermaid. And then I think I got Super Mario Brothers or Super Mario World, whatever was on there. But I also had a Barbie thing.
Now, but is
that
this like
had
the first
Pong
that
on
you
it.
owned, or is the first you
that you ever played?
physically
Actually,
played?
so scratch that, because the first I played computer games. My family had a computer. I played PC games when I was young. We played Wolfenstein, which was, I think, a little too violent for me and my sister, but we learned how to hack it. That old PC Wolfenstein had this like cheat code that you could type in and get like unlimited ammo and lives. So we played that, and we played this game called Microman relentlessly. And this was definitely, that may have been after I got a Game Boy though, because when I had a Game Boy I was like young. The computer games I think came when we
Yeah.
got the
Yeah.
internet, like Prodigy, and could download computer games.
I think my
Yeah.
dad's DOS back when before the regular disc, the like big black floppy disk. I think they had like a Ninja Turtles paint game. But
Oh, on floppy. Oh, well, we
like
can't.
floppy on
We
a
can't. No,
DOS.
okay, you're reminding me of like Oregon Trail and shit at school. Carmen San Diego on DOS.
Yeah, but
on
I
a
still
floppy
think
disk
those came for me later. 'Cause,
after.
yeah,
Game
I
Boy.
think the first
Mm.
time I ever played any sort of video game or knew what they were had to be Mario on the NES, the Mario Duck Hunt combo, and a friend had it, and I think that was the first time that I just was like, oh, video games? You playing a thing on a TV? Even though games were made before then, I still had never played like an Atari, and I don't think I had played any arcades at that point. So I think that was my first exposure. And then after that was when I got my first thing that I ever had was a Game Boy. But I think I realized that computers had games, and I think it was just that simple Ninja Turtle paint game on the DOS. And I think, and then I had a Mac for school, and there was like Number Munchers and stuff like, and the Carmen San Diego game. I think those all still for me came after the Super Mario Duck Hunt NES game.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure the first game I would have ever played would have been Super Mario, but it was on like the Super Nintendo. It's like the All-Star cartridge that had like Super Mario, Mario World, and like Mario 3 and stuff. Cause I had an NES, but I got that after. I got that like when I was a little older, because I wanted to play like the original.
Oh,
But
okay.
yeah. But the first one I actually had as a kid that I played was Super Nintendo.
Yeah, all those I had to play at friends, because when I was young, like, because when those were out, I was like in middle school, and my mom didn't want me having video games because she's like, if you get video games, you'll never go outside. And so when I was in 8th grade, I got my first console and I got an N64, and then I never went outside.
It's the truth, honestly.
Yeah. Um, yeah, there's a lot of good comments coming into like I remember I got the gold cartridge of Zelda's Majora's Mask. I was so hyped when that came out. GTA played on the DS when he was 11. Um, yeah, Mango is a bit younger because he's talking World of Warcraft and stuff being early games.
Yeah.
Soul Queef knows what you're talking about with Wolfenstein
I
and
played on my
Microman.
dad's PS3 all the time.
And then Doolin or
That was
Linux.
Mango. We love you,
Wait,
Mango.
Yeah.
Doolin change his name? Linux Archer?
That's Doolin. That's Doolin on Twitch. I think he has
Mhm.
a different name on Facebook.
Oh. Well, he still has his Mario Duck Hunt combo, which is nice.
That is very nice.
Yeah.
Man,
that's
I'm so
awesome.
bummed. I had
Did
the
you guys-
Super NES Mini, and I gave it to my nephews to play, and then got divorced. And I was just like, I'm
Oh,
not getting that back. And they're so hard to find now, and they're expensive, but whatever. It's not like I'm gonna go back. There's too many new games. Yeah, there's a lot of good. Trigger, you need to tell us about this Revolt game. I don't know what he's talking about there. I don't think I've ever played that. But yeah, a lot of my early games were PC games: Chips Challenge, Ski Free, TIE Fighter, Rogue Squadron. But a lot, yeah. Outside of because before I had a console, I guess before I had the N64, I had to play PC games. So like the original Warcraft, when it was a strategy game, and StarCraft, me and my friends used to play a lot. Diablo 2, we would play for hours. Like, my friends would get together and just grinding and grinding, trying to get all the cool weapons.
yeah.
Hey, you want to do some bail runs tonight?
You know what I think the biggest thing about games back in the day was that when you died, you had to start over from the start.
Oh yeah.
That
Yeah,
doesn't
that's
happen
rough.
anymore. That was like
Thank God.
Yeah, you can save to your heart's content, or
You can-
just auto save.
yeah, right? Like
Yeah.
you can't lose your game anymore, but like that wasn't a thing. Especially I think it comes from like arcade mentality where they wanted you to keep pumping quarters in to keep playing or to play over
Yeah.
and over again. So if you died, you had to start over. And the longer you were there, the more money the companies would make. So it was in their best interest to make it really difficult and to have you like really keep pumping quarters into it.
Yeah.
But then even the NES and Atari stuff too, it just had to do with GPUs and processors and not having the memory to actually save your progress. Like
yeah,
the technology wasn't there to be able to like nowadays, because even before playing Skyrim and stuff 10 years ago, you have to hit start save game, and if you forgot to hit start and save game and you die, you're going all the way back to your last save. But now, and with technology, the game's constantly saving in the background. It's constantly doing new saves, and so you're pretty much good to go.
It was pretty crazy to me because, like I said, the first Mario game I had was for the Super Nintendo, so it was like the revamped version of it. So you could save. So I always knew it that way, and I remember playing the original one on like an NES and like dying, and it's like, oh, you just back to world one,
Right.
Like
yeah.
I was like, it blew my mind. I was like,
my
that's crazy.
Game Boy would be across the room because I would throw it against the wall.
Yeah.
The N64 had the memory cards that you could in the controller, or the Rumble Pack.
Yeah.
That's such old school. The Rumble Pack. That's so
Yeah.
old school.
Yeah.
Oh man. We got some good comments.
Oh, Mango's talking Stardew Valley. That's another one I recommended to TJ, was Stardew Valley.
Is that Animal Crossing like esque?
Yeah.
Is it an Animal Crossing
It's like
game?
the one guy created it. It looks like an old like Super Nintendo game. It's very like 8-bit or 16-bit pixel farm simulator kind of.
Let's see. Dan Gonzalez said played Street Fighter, Pac-Man, and Mortal Kombat at a homemade arcade. Miss Pac-Man was like my shit. My sister was like a pretty competitive roller skater when we were kids, and so we went to like the roller rink and they would have video games, and man, dude, I was like on them all day long because I wasn't skating. I just had to like be there during competitions and everything. I was like so good at Pac-Man, and they had Ninja Turtles there and Mortal Kombat and stuff like that as well. So, but that was still after I had a Game Boy. I had a Game Boy when I was really young.
Yeah. The first game I ever had on Game Boy, and we were talking about cool aunts earlier, like,
Yeah.
Aunt Carol and my Aunt Ruth. She was one of those that it's like whatever my parents didn't want us to do, she would like do. And like my mom specifically was like, yeah, you'll never go outside if you have video games. And I was like, I want a Game Boy. And so she bought me a Game Boy, but she didn't know like what games I would want. She didn't know what like Mario or whatever. And she got me this, I don't even remember the name, but it was like a puzzle game. It was something Temple or whatever, but I actually ended up really liking it. But it was like a top down view, and it was all these tiles, and you had this like ball that you, every time you jumped to the next tile, it would flip over the previous one. So the puzzle was to like clear all the tiles and get to the end without like falling or going back. And then like as you progressed, there would be like conveyor belts or tiles that had to be jumped on twice or three. It would just get more and more complex. But it was just like some weird game that I was like, yes, Game Boy. And then I saw the game and I was like, what is this? This isn't Mario. I don't want it.
Aww.
But then as soon as I would like give it a shot because it was the only game I had, and I ended up like falling in love with it. I'm like, this is fun. I like puzzles. My brain works.
It's funny, I never had the original Game Boy. I didn't get one until Game Boy Color. When I was like, when I was like in middle school, and then like red version was the first game. Because that was
you didn't have the green screen.
No. It's funny though, my Game Boy Color was a green one though. But it still wasn't well, I guess it wasn't color. I can't even remember.
There was just like one or two colors.
Yeah, because red version was just red, the whole color. Yeah. But that was during like the Pokemon phase was when I got my Game Boy. But
so
do you remember Game Gear? And it would like burn through like 8 batteries in like 2 hours.
My sister had Sega Genesis.
Sega Game Gear.
Sega Game Gear.
One.
The Genesis was their console.
Had like 3 batteries.
The Genesis was their console. That had like the circle thing on top. My sister had a Game Gear.
Saturn.
Talk about my sister being the privileged older sister. She had the Game Gear, which always had a color screen, and she used to
lit up.
It was lit. She when we were on road trips as a family, she could play at night, and I was there rocking my fucking Game Boy with nothing.
Did you buy the attachment, the little light?
The light.
Oh yeah, I had the light and the
that.
magnifying glass.
The magnifying
this shit was like headgear for your Game Boy. Like it was like huge. Like the Game Boy itself is like this fucking big. It's like a fucking pound of hamburger. Like I can't think of like how else to describe the size for those 17-year-olds watching that don't know. It's like a fucking brick. And then you get another brick and put it on top of that brick. And then you're sitting there like, dee and like, oh, this is what I used to do. Get this. Because we used to take a lot of family road trips, and we would like be in the car at night with our Game Boys and stuff like that for a lot of reasons. And whenever we drove under a street light and you get that little like flash of like, ooh, we're under a light. That's what I would play under. I would be like,
That's awesome.
Like there's light, I can see it, because you had to have light to fucking play it. Like, and now look at us. Like, what the fuck?
I know.
Technology, man, has come so far, so quickly.
You may like it. There's this company that put out this product recently, and it's apparently like heavy duty, like metal, and it looks like an old Game Boy, and it's an emulator, and it has like the full library of like the original Game Boy and the Game Boy Color games or something all loaded
Wow.
up on it. And so and it's supposedly even crisper looking, like it's the same pixel art. They didn't change it, but it's on a bigger screen and they enhanced it. But you can go back and play all those games you used to play on this little like device. I
That's
remember
awesome.
That's
Wario
awesome.
Land. I liked Wario Land a lot.
Yeah.
But yes, I did have the attachment, and it was the start of many. I had like the attachment with the light, but it was like, why did they buy my sister the thing with the color and me not? Like, they could never get us the same exact thing. We always had to have like something that was similar but a little bit different. That's just like how it was.
They
And
they probably didn't even
Oh, your
realize.
sister got Lego and you got Duplo.
yes, yes,
Oh,
that is
that's rough.
exactly it. I fucking doing it with Duplo. That was me. I had the Duplo blocks. She would always
TJ's been like,
But
100%. Like she would always get the one thing and I would get the another. So we would have like the same thing, but not exactly the same. Because otherwise we would like fight over it or wouldn't know whose toys were whose toys. I don't fucking know. Ask my mom. I don't know. I probably need therapy because of it. But yeah, I remember like literally, and she would never let me fucking touch it. She had Sonic. She had golf. She had all these fun fucking games. I love Mario. I specifically have very vivid memories of being in like kindergarten and staying up until midnight underneath my sheets, like literally playing Mario. I couldn't sleep. I was like obsessed with Mario.
You got the better deal. I mean, the Game Gear was cool because it was lit up in color, but Nintendo games were by far better than anything on Sega.
And
so you had like the way more fun games to play.
I feel like that was like Sega's story. Like they were always so much more advanced. Like even with the Saturn.
Yeah,
but
Saturn.
it was but they just like sucked. Like the games weren't good, like
the Dreamcast was like the highest tech thing when it
they
came
had
out.
like Ratchet and Clank
Yeah.
and the what's the other like weird dog? Not Ratchet and Clank, but the other. Anyway, they had like games like that, right?
They had Earthworm Jim and
Echo
the Dolphin and Terminator versus
Sonic is good, but I was never like
RoboCop.
Was anybody like obsessed with Sonic? Like not really.
Josh, I hated playing it.
Not the original Sonic. I didn't start really liking Sonic till Sonic Adventure, which was on Dreamcast, because that's like a whole different Sonic,
Yeah, I never liked Sonic because I didn't like having to like speed through. Like when I play games, it's like I want to explore every corner of the map and find secrets like Mario.
Yeah.
And Sonic, it's like you have to be at a constant motion and zipping through the map.
Yeah, where like Sonic Adventure kind of changed that, made it more like Mario, which is why I like it. Was like Super Mario 64, like Sonic, But I never like, even going back to the original like side scroll, like I've never even beat one of those Sonic games. Like I would definitely choose Mario over that. Just like the easy pace, like just hitting blocks and stuff, going down tubes.
Old Mario had a timer.
Well, yeah, it did, but it's like even like the old,
more forgiving.
Yeah, like the old Sonic, you're just flying.
It's just
and
relentless.
You just hit spikes.
Yeah, you can't
like,
really stop it. Yeah. Oh, fuck, spikes. And then his little red shoes, or his little black and white shoes would be like, and then he'd just die.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Daniel said he loves Crash on PS1. Well, you're now going to be able to play Crash and Spyro on Xbox.
Crash Bandicoot. That's what I was thinking of.
Activision publishes.
That's what I was thinking of. Sorry.
Crash, and now Microsoft owns it.
Man, Sony's going to be. I don't know.
That's the big thing that I'm seeing online is just like all the console war kind of like fighting and.
So,
blah, blah, blah.
Soulqueef said newer games can depend on graphics and audio to make up for a weak story or gameplay. The older games had to be fun to play without all the graphics and effects. You're so right. Otherwise, they wouldn't sell. Nobody would buy them, and they would just tank.
Right.
Yeah.
Dude, definitely. Lucas, my man, Silent Hill is one of my favorite game franchises of all time. So good.
Did you guys?
Go ahead.
Did you guys ever have the Game Boy Advance when they brought the lighted screen
No.
onto
My
it?
brother did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is
It
that
was
the
cool.
Game Boy Color was just a Game Boy that was a color? And the
Yeah,
Game
it
Boy
was just
Advance,
smaller. Yeah.
it was thinner too. I had one. I think
Yeah.
I think I sold it one day. I
I
had
think the
like the
color
red
was
one.
the last Game Boy I had.
Yeah.
And I didn't have any of the others, the clamshell or the advanced or anything. After Game Boy Color, the next handheld I got was a DS. And then I got the DSs.
Yeah, the Advance was like
The sideways one.
yeah. But I did have that one. I only had one DS. I think I didn't get a DS till like the 3DS, and I barely played it, but
I bought the original off of my friend Marissa, and then it was like I bought it from her right around the DS Lite came out. And then I immediately traded in an upgrade for the DS Lite. And then I got the 3DS, the first 3DS, but then I sold it. Like once the Switch came out, it's like you don't need a DS anymore.
yeah.
Well, this was a really fun stream tonight, guys. What do you think?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was good. I like the questions.
Yeah, it was kind of a fun and I love how we always kind of go into games.
Yeah.
That's just
Well,
the
we're
nature
nerds,
of it.
so
Yeah, it's
it's inevitable.
we'll always find a way.
We're gonna hang up here. I'm gonna order Indian food and then play video games.
Wow. I'm just scrolling through Instagram and I just saw RJ Hale post they had a bus fire last night.
Damn.
Wow.
That's pretty metal.
Yeah. It looks it's destroyed head to toe. They probably lost like all of their stuff. Like fuck.
Clothes and things, yeah.
Damn.
Yeah.
Shit, that sucks.
But they were all safe. Everyone is safe. Crazy. That's weird. Like I just was like, oh, I'm gonna like scroll through Instagram and check on our post or something since we're wrapping up, and then that was like the first thing that popped up, and I was like, a burnt bus. Like what's going on?
Good night, Gonzalez. I'll see you tomorrow.
Yes. Final thoughts, guys.
Go play Death's Door. Get Game Pass.
Love each
Subscribe
other.
to the Nearly Dead's Patreon to get all the behind the scenes. You'll be able to hear the new record like a year before everyone else because it's almost done, like in demo form, and you'll get the record for free when it comes out. Stream us on Spotify, watch us on YouTube.
Just be good to each other. Give yourself a break, give yourself a pat on the back, take a deep breath. You're doing great, and we support you, and high five to you.
Mango Creations is on Twitch now. Yeah, like
Yeah.
all you YouTubers, if YouTube is too old school, we're on Twitch.
Hey, we're like known for being a YouTube band in a way.
Tomorrow night, depending on how our patron feels, if I'm able to play with you guys, I can stream us playing on Twitch. And so you can see us all be very terrible at Apex Legends.
Yes, let's do that. Let's try. Yes, I'm going to go learn Apex Legends right now.
The only thing is if I stream it, they won't be able to see us. They'll just be able to see the game.
That's fine.
And it will only be from my perspective.
I don't want people to see me.
Yeah. I don't know.
I don't
I'm
know
not
how
an
to do
advanced
all that.
streamer like these people. I don't PC game. None of us PC game, so you kind of have to be a PC gamer to
have like the webcams set up or whatever.
Yeah,
you have to like have your fucking PS5 hooked up to your computer. I don't know.
I could do the webcam on my Xbox, but again, they wouldn't be able to see all three of us, and yeah, it's a whole thing. But
I think there is a way to do it, but we ain't figuring it out by tomorrow night.
No, and
I figured out how to do this. Oh my god, what's wrong with me?
Yeah, you figured all of this
I
out.
figured out how to do this.
Now.
I know there's a way because you see people stream with like 2-3 people multiplayer, and then they have the game, and then they have their little thumbnails. Like there's a way to do it, But, you know, we'll get Alex on Discord. He'll show me how to do it. We'll make it work. Yes. So, yeah, we have a gaming date with one of our patrons. Thank you guys for all your support. If you want to support the stream, if you want to get even more Nearly Dead's action and want to throw us a couple bones, hop on the Patreon. It's really cool. It's really fun. And you get early access to all the new music that we are working on, which is the coolest thing. You get to hear all the lyric ideas I have, which I never usually share with anybody. And a couple other little perks from us and just even more access. So thank you guys all for joining in the conversation, answering our weird questions. And we love you guys. Have a great night. Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Where's your... Yeah.
Zip it out.
Zip it out.
Whoa.
Zip it up. See you later.
All right.
What the